Hey guys, today is a video of talking about Balto and of course how he became and what he became at the end. So this might be a long one, so grab some snacks, popcorn, and be ready for the Balto themed video today because today is Balto Day. So hey guys, and welcome to this video. So like I said, we will be talking about Balto a lot in this video. So about Balto, he was introduced in part 1 of Balto, which I do have a DVD for. I'm going to tell you guys about how Balto is and what he actually is. So in part 1 of Balto, you can actually see him take Boris with him, as you can see right now. He actually takes him to a race, which is the race for the sled dogs. What actually is a sled dog? So a sled dog is a dog that pulls a sled with him. But there's also the leader of sled dogs, which is actually the one that pulls, or the one that's in front. If you guys didn't know what that is, then there is your explanation. And for Balto, he actually wants to become a sled dog, or more like a sled wolf dog, or a sled husky dog. What actually is Balto? He is, as seen in the movie of Balto, he's actually pronounced as both as a wolf and a husky. So as you might heard from Balto, or like a story of Balto, he's actually part wolf and part husky. In the original movie, you can actually hear him say that he or like in part 2 of the movie, if you go to Balto 2 Wolf Quest, where he actually tells his daughter he's part wolf and part husky, which actually is that his father had puppies with a wolf. What actually is Balto is that he's actually a kind, friendly wolf husky, or wolf, if you want to see him like that. What actually happens in the episode 1 is that he gets mistreated a lot for his appearance as a wolf. Why he gets mistreated or outcasted as a wolf is unknown for me, because I don't know why. It's most of the time also known as that he's just part wolf, part husky. What I would say is that his wolf side is actually never known to be there, which I see in part 1 in one of the episodes. So if you've seen part 1 of Balto, he actually is a friendly wolf, which actually you can see by the husky side of his. He's actually not that aggressive towards anybody, not even towards Jenna, who's actually his girlfriend or wife in the later part 2. And they both have puppies, which you will see in episode 2 of Balto explanations for my friends. So as you can see in this clip, Balto and Boris is the goose that's walking with him. But who is he and him? I'm going to explain in part 2 of telling my friends who Balto actually is. So for people that don't know, that this one right here is Steel, the villain / bully in whole episode 1 of Balto. He's one that is actually the meanest one out of all of them, with his actual crew, or as you call them, goons. I don't know why people do that. He is actually the one that's controlling them, I don't know. And he's insulting, Balto with his mom as a message with a ow, I don't know. And Balto is the one that obviously gets pissed if people actually mention his mother in messages of them howling, which Balto actually does not really like. He actually does never like when his mom is actually in conversations, and when people are howling and saying something, can you wait a second, translate me this, and they keep howling, which Balto actually does not like. Well, he does not translate what they're saying or what they're like doing. What I would say is that Balto is actually a nice, friendly dog, or as you call him, a wolf. Which I would say that he's not like the others that does not want to harm humans. As you see in one of the clips, you will see that he's actually falling in love with the one, Jenna is the pure red husky is what actually what somebody told me is that she's actually a pure red husky, which I would say is actually true. What's true? True. I meant true. What you see is that he's actually falling in love with Jenna. As you see in one of the clips, like I said, he is like love at first sight, which I will play another clip like later. So as you see, he's actually kind of depressed now because he is being called a breed, which actually is what Steele called him, or whatever he said. I don't know. But as you know, that actually, I know something about Balto that nobody else actually knows, is that he's actually, oh no, okay, I don't know much about him, only that he's actually pretty friendly. And if you guys want to know about Balto, there you go. He's actually a pure, I call him a pure white husky because he's not white, but my messages to him. So I will replay some clips because I cannot make this video extra long. But the thing is, as you can probably notice in him being bullied by Steele, it's that he's actually not very friendly towards the wolf husky. Yeah, and also known as the one and only goose, Boris is actually his friend, or as you call him, his adoptive father, because he actually took him in when he was wait, here, oh, shit, sorry for the cuss. Okay, of course, Balto was taken in by Boris when Balto was actually separated from his mother, and he was accidentally separated, which he didn't know. He actually just, I don't know. What he tells later on in episode 2 of the Wolf Quest, or as you call it, here, Balto's Wolf Quest 2, or Balto 2 as I call it, he is actually a father now, which you will see in part 2. I hope you guys did not Google anything before I made this video, because that would make me really depressed. But like I said, that there's a spoiler, he does become a father in the later episodes in this video that I'm making. There's gonna be 3 episodes, like the 3 movies there only are. I'm not gonna cover Jenna's story in this one, because I know that most of you guys don't know who Jenna is. She's this husky that's actually pure red and white. But as you can see, that Balto actually falls in love with her, but the father of Rosie, that's the daughter, and that's the girl right there. She said that her father hurt his feelings, which actually makes sense for him because he's depressed. As you can see, he's sad, which he actually sadly walks down the halls, not the halls, the alley. Is actually Boris tries to say something, but he can't. And then, as you hear him, his ears kind of jump up, and when he hears the word Jenna, he actually sprints out of the alleyway to look for her, and he bumps into her. And Noah actually wanted to say something, as you can hear in the movie. He says something like Jenna, which actually makes sense for him because he likes Jenna, which actually you will get to know soon or later in part 2 of everything. The part 2 is called Jenna. Wait a second, let me. Part 2 is called Sorry for the silence. The part 2 is gonna be called uh, Jenna Balto, or Balto Jenna, which actually is the love story of both of them. Is that, if you want, of course, I made this video for. Wait, let me check out the people I made this video for. I made this video for Cutie Little Artist, because she does not know who Balto is. This video is mentioned for her too. I made it for my friend Flake underscore official. I'm gonna just. He actually took a name of my LC, which is called Blaze. Which actually I don't know why, but I don't give a fuck. I have Balto with me, so okay. So as you can probably notice on Balto is that he's being bullied throughout episode 1 of Balto, which he doesn't actually really not care about if he is like actually no. He does care about being treated well or bad. He actually notices how he's being treated besides Boris, of course. Boris is his friend or his adoptive father, like I said. He treats him with care and with love, which you can actually probably notice if you watch it, which I don't recommend right now. I'll recommend watching all the episodes of me giving you, like, I don't know, giving you some tips about Balto before you watch them. I would say watch the first movie before you watch the second one. So, like I said, Balto is being treated as trash, like always, which I don't. Because you wanna know what I did? So last time I said I got my DVDs back, which I did. I cleaned my DVDs, and of course I made a letter, and it says King Balto. He is and always will always stay will and always okay. He is and he will always stay my superstar, which he actually still is. Well, that was the end for episode 1 of Balto, and I hope you guys liked it, especially you cutie little artist. That was not all of Balto. Balto is for episode 2. Actually, I'm not going to record an episode 2 of Balto because I don't want to spoil or anything. I just spoiled it for episode 1 because you guys never saw it, so yeah. Okay, I just reacted that. How the fuck did I do that? Okay, if you guys want, I can also do a re-voice over for Balto. And if you guys want, there's also Jenna as a girl. You guys can actually join me. But like I said, that was part for episode 1. And I hope you enjoyed it. And bye!